The Goose and Rat. On the edge of a quiet meadow, where reeds shivered in the morning breeze and sunlight skimmed the water like golden fingertips, there lived a goose who believed, with every feather on her proud chest, that she was destined for greatness. And one chilly dawn, she decided today would be the day she proved it. She paced outside her nest with a restless intensity, wings fluttering, eyes bright with ambition. If I'm going to be known, she declared to the ducks drifting lazily nearby, it won't be for an ordinary egg. Oh no, I'm gonna lay the egg. The biggest one this pond has ever seen. The ducks blinked. One yawned. But the goose didn't notice. She was too busy imagining the gasps, the admiration, the whispers of awe rippling across the water. So with great ceremony, she settled into her nest. She took a deep breath. The reeds hushed. Even the pond stilled. Then, after a long, dramatic struggle, she lifted her head with a triumphant honk. Before her sat an egg so enormous it barely fit inside the nest. Pale, glossy, wobbling slightly under its own weight, it looked less like something a goose would lay and more like something a legend would hatch. The goose puffed out her feathers. Magnificent, she whispered. Truly magnificent. Word spread fast. The sparrows fluttered in. The frogs hopped closer. A family of field mice stood on their hind legs for a better look. Curiosity pulled every creature within earshot toward that nest. And at first, the goose soaked in the attention. She strutted around defensively but proudly, shooing away anyone who leaned too close. But as the hours passed, something new crept in. Worry. The egg, beautiful as it was, shuddered under the slightest breeze. Every step the goose took made the ground tremble just enough to send a hairline crack creeping across the shell's glossy curve. The onlookers gasped. The goose froze. She hurried to brace it with her wings, but the weight was too much. Another crack formed. Then another. Thin, sharp, snaking across the surface like lightning trapped in white porcelain. No, no, no. Hold on, she begged, pressing her feathers close. You're supposed to be perfect. But the egg had other plans. With a sudden, brittle snap, the shell gave way, collapsing inward with a hollow sigh. The enormous egg split apart, shards scattering through the nest like broken hopes. Inside lay nothing at all. No chick, no miracle, only the cold reminder of an idea pushed too far. The meadow fell silent. The goose stared at the fragments, her chest rising and falling with the weight of a truth she hadn't wanted to face. At last, an old heron stepped forward, voice soft as ripples on still water. Some things, he murmured, aren't meant to be bigger, only better. The goose lowered her head. Her pride deflated, but not her spirit. She realized then that greatness wasn't measured by size or spectacle, but by care, patience, and the quiet work of doing things well. A few days later, she laid another egg. Small, plain, ordinary. But this time she settled over it gently, protectively, without a hint of boasting. And when it finally hatched, revealing a tiny gosling blinking up at her with bright, trusting eyes, she understood. This simple, fragile miracle was worth more than all the giant, empty dreams she once chased. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow.